Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Bubble Wrap Fan 19. Thanks for the suggestion. Bubble, you asked, why was Styrofoam invented and what is it really used for? Great question, because let's be honest, this squishy, squeaky, strangely indestructible stuff is everywhere. It's in coffee cups, packaging, coolers, helmets, and that one beanbag chair you bought on sale that never fully expanded. But what is Styrofoam? Who looked at the plastic and said, you know what this needs? More air. Let's dig into the squishy history, surprising science, and occasionally questionable uses of the puffiest plastic on the planet, right here on Explaining Everything. Once upon a time, in the magical land of the early 20th century, where people smoked on airplanes and thought Jell-O salads were gourmet, chemists were going ham on plastic. In 1839, a German apothecary named Edward Simon accidentally discovered a substance called styrene. He didn't know what to do with it, so naturally, like any scientist back then, he just left it on a shelf. 100 years later, people were like, wait, this might be useful. Fast forward to the 1940s, enter the Dow Chemical Company. They were already neck-deep in chemistry when they figured out how to turn styrene into a foamy version of itself. In 1944, Dow invented extruded polystyrene foam and gave it the catchy nickname Styrofoam. Boom! Fluffy plastic was born. Okay, but what is Styrofoam? Imagine regular plastic, but you trap a ton of air inside it, like 95% air. That's right, Styrofoam is mostly nothing. It's like the cotton candy of the plastic world. Light, fluffy, and surprisingly bad for your health if you eat it. Seriously, don't eat it. Even if it looks like a marshmallow, it's a trap. The scientific name is expanded polystyrene, or EPS. It starts as tiny plastic beads. These beads are steamed, kind of like popcorn, except way less tasty, and they puff up into that iconic foam. Then they're squished into molds to become cups, packaging, or whatever else you forgot to recycle last week. Now, why was this stuff invented in the first place? Well, originally, Dow created Styrofoam as a material for insulation, specifically for keeping warships nice and cozy during World War II. Nothing says battle-ready like a warm, quiet hull, right? But soon, they realized Styrofoam was useful for all kinds of things. It's lightweight, it doesn't absorb water, it insulates like a pro. Suddenly, Styrofoam was the it girl of materials. Shipping companies loved it. Coffee shops adopted it. Science labs used it to keep things cold, and party stores used it to make decorative spheres that looked like snowballs but shattered dreams if you sat on them. You probably know Styrofoam best from takeaway containers that feel warm and squishy in your hands and make a horrible screech when you try to open them quietly in a meeting. But there's a lot more to this foamy legend. Insulation, still a biggie. Styrofoam keeps buildings warm in winter, cool in summer, and confused in spring. Packaging. It's the MVP of protecting fragile stuff. Electronics wrapped in foam. New blender nestled in white puff clouds like it's royalty. Crafts. Crafters love it. Want to make a model solar system for your kids' science fair? Boom! Styrofoam planets, coolers. Want to keep your sodas chilly at the beach? Styrofoam cooler. It's like an icebox made of crunchy clouds, buoys, and surfboards. Yup, it floats too, which is ironic because it also floats forever. We'll get to that. If you need something cheap, light, and cushiony, Styrofoam's your weird, squeaky friend who shows up and never leaves. Okay, now let's get real for a second. For all its squishy glory, Styrofoam has a not-so-fun side. It doesn't break down, like ever. If you dropped a Styrofoam cup in 1982, it's probably still out there, chilling in a landfill or floating in the ocean. Animals sometimes mistake it for food, and it can release nasty chemicals if burned. That's why a lot of places have banned or restricted it. Some coffee shops now use compostable cups. Some cities say no thanks to foam containers. But the good news? Science is working on alternatives. Biodegradable foams, mushroom packaging. Yes, that's a thing. So, where are we headed next in the land of puffed plastic? Styrofoam's still out there, but it's slowly being replaced with greener options. Meanwhile, people are getting creative, recycling it into building materials, turning it into art, even using it to make lightweight concrete, because nothing says innovation like turning takeout boxes into skyscrapers. And while Styrofoam might be the awkward guest that overstayed its welcome, it did help shape our modern world. It made things lighter, cheaper, and easier to ship. It kept your coffee warm. It protected your grandma's porcelain unicorn collection during that one stressful move. So why was Styrofoam invented? To make insulation during wartime. What's it used for now? Everything, basically, from shipping boxes to solar system science projects. Is it the hero we needed? Kinda. Is it the hero we're stuck with? Definitely. For at least another 1,000 years. Thanks for tuning in to Explaining Everything. And remember, just because something is light, fluffy, and helpful doesn't mean it's good for the environment. So maybe skip the foam next time. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.